If you are into nerds intensely talking at you about movies, then buckle in, because we're about to start dissecting the Barbie movie today. Hello! Welcome to Scenic Saturdays here on the Fangirl. I'm your hostess with the mostest, McGann, and if you don't know me, I'm a huge movie nerd with an educational background in film, and I've been having so much fun and getting a lot of positive feedback after dissecting Coraline scene by scene, so I wanted to jump into a second movie. You know, broaden that appeal and such. And what movie is more interesting right now than the Barbie movie from Warner Brothers? Also, yeah, I get the irony of calling this series Scenic Saturdays when I'm posting it on a Friday, but that's because Coraline is already established on Saturdays, and doing 2 videos a day is not great for the algorithm. But that means you should be able to tune in anytime on Saturday and have Barbie content ready. So please, let us all put up blinders for the plot hole I'm making for myself. Also, I have paid channel memberships open right now, and if you are willing and able to join, I would super appreciate it. Okay, introductions aside, let's move right along. Today we're looking at the entire Barbie movie intro, and if you haven't watched the movie yet, yes, there will be spoilers. Why did you click on this video if you didn't want spoilers? I love Barbie, we're gonna have a good time and just fangirl all over this film. So we open up with a magnificent spoof of 2001: A Space Odyssey, except that director, Stanley Kubrick, makes notoriously male-centric films, and we know by the tone of Barbie that its director, Greta Gerwig, is breaking the mold, as it were, to take this male-gaze-dominated world of cinema, and Gerwig is about to let female-gaze films evolve here. The choice of this spoof is no accident. This is the dawn of a new era of film. It is time to get excited. And we just see this quiet, desolate landscape with a sunrise and birds chirping, and then our narrator manifests. And she explains that ever since there were little girls, there have been dolls. But the dolls were always these grooming tools that were used to teach young girls to be mothers or helpful big sisters, which is historically true. Oddly, it wasn't until the 1980s when American Girl came out that someone finally had the bright idea to make a doll that was supposed to be the same age as the girl playing with it. Like, hey, maybe children might enjoy playing with a peer instead of a baby to take care of. And the girls in this scene are in the most neutral, boring, old-timey clothes imaginable. They literally match the brown on the rocks surrounding them. And the kids' movements are mechanical, they're slow, they're boring. And this is all done to reinforce the point that baby dolls are not fun. They're training devices. It's really a slam that baby dolls are not legitimate toys because they don't create a passion or a drive or a motivation. They just mimic boring, terrible reality, and they keep girls at status quo. Then we have this group of young girls, and they're sleeping in a pile. Again, all I can see is 2001: Space Odyssey apes. And suddenly, as if birthed from the heavens itself, our obelisk of the original 1959 Barbie doll appears, and she is way larger than life right in front of the sun. So the release of Barbie is so big that she blocks out the sun. And these wonderful little actresses, they're still mimicking apes, and they are hesitantly tapping on Barbie's leg, trying to figure out what this newfangled invention is. But it only takes one quick wink from Barbie before the younglings get angry and start destroying their baby dolls in a fit of rage, almost as if to say, you mean we've been playing with this junk since the dawn of time when a doll like this was available? These girls are over the baby stuff. They're demolishing those old toys and have just discovered the wheel with Barbie. And Barbie herself is looking onto this toy massacre and smiling like she's done her job effectively. And if somehow that scene isn't on the nose enough for you, one of the girls tosses her baby doll up in the air and it turns into the Barbie logo. So literally, Barbie is replacing the baby doll industry. And I'm genuinely trying to think here. I can remember being young in the 80s and 90s and still finding lots of baby doll toys out there, but nothing was ever as prominent as the Barbie brand. And some of those baby dolls drank bottles, some pooed on themselves, some could scream. They were all terrible, except for Quince. We love you and you can stay. However, my daughter was born in 2007, and I can't think of any baby dolls in diapers as toys that I've really seen in recent years. Are they totally gone these days? Anyways, sorry about the sidebar. Now we get into the white room of the movie, which comes and goes several times in a pretty illogical way. And I don't want to be the person that fixates on Margot Robbie's body, but I do really love and appreciate that when we get this new look of the 1959 Barbie in this clean white background, Margot Robbie does not look overly photoshopped. Seriously, they could have reshaped Robbie's body to match the original doll exactly, but she has a little bit of a midsection and human-looking hips. And I gotta say, as somebody who was impacted by never feeling represented on screen growing up, real women have curves, we're not all stick figures, and letting Robbie have a more natural-looking type of body on screen, especially during the introduction, is just incredible. And that's so anti-Hollywood that I'm genuinely impressed that it's in the film. And major fangirl moment here. As we pan back from the original Barbie, we get shown a lot of iconic Barbies over the years. We have the first nurse Barbie, astronaut Barbie, the Barbie that I don't know her official name, but she was recreated in Toy Story 3 and voiced by Jodie Benson, the beautiful Peaches and Cream Barbie, which came out the same year I did, and one of my all-time favorites as a kid, Totally Hair Barbie. I won't lie, I shrieked a little bit in the theater when I saw my exact childhood doll appear on screen. But they also introduce one of the more confusing parts of this movie here, where the narrator tells us that Barbie is all of these women, and all of these women are Barbie. And that is a Mattel thing where there are dolls named Barbie who have lots of different skin tones and hair colors. And I will say the whole "Hi Barbie" thing is super cute and fun, but there are so many characters that are getting ignored. We get to see one Midge, even though there have been dozens of her as well, and only one of them was ever pregnant. It's not like Midge has always been the pregnant friend, but there's no Teresa, no Christy, no Tootie. There are lots of dolls not represented in Barbie Land. So I wonder if that's because Gloria the human that we meet later seems to impact Barbie Land the most, and maybe she didn't have any of those other dolls. Also, I'm curious, when I was a kid and opening and playing with Barbies, I always renamed them different things because I wanted them to be individuals. So I would get yarn, paper, and tape and make them semi-permanent name tag necklaces. Did anyone else do that, or am I just a weird OCD art kid? But back into this intro. After we see the retro Barbies delicately spinning in place, and yes, that does hurt my soul to recognize a doll from the 1990s as retro, especially when the 90s was like 5 hours ago. But then the new generation of Barbies start appearing, where Barbie's an adventurer, a sports star, a scientist, a medical professional, a firefighter, a judge, and I love that they included one of the wheelchair-using Barbies here. I don't know why, that just seeing all of the inclusion makes me want to cry, but it is so beautiful that anybody can find a role model in Barbie. And I triply love that all of these Barbies are real. My boyfriend Steven and I took his parents to see this movie in the theater, and I brought his mom a Barbie before we went in, just like, oh, this would be cute. And it ended up being her first Barbie ever, which I had no idea of that at the time when I got it. And I had gotten her the nurse Barbie from this opening, so seeing it on screen again was just really sweet. So many of these dolls are special to me on a personal level, and I'm sure other people feel the same. Toys have a transgenerational power that is just amazing. And the narrator emphasizes all of this by saying how Barbie has her own money, her own house, her own career. It's one of those things where Barbie existing didn't make that happen for other women, but she paved the way by showing millions of girls that whatever life they dreamed of could be possible through their their own efforts. I mean, there's no Cradle Robber Ken or Black Widow Barbie where a Barbie achieved her lifestyle through marrying rich. Barbie makes it all happen for herself. And especially as a kid, if you don't have examples to see what is possible, you are not going to see your own big goals as obtainable. But if Barbie can be a doctor, if Barbie can be an archaeologist, if Barbie can fight fires, then so can I. It kind of reminds me of when I was in middle school and the teachers would tell me things like, "Oh, you're so good with computers. You should be a secretary." Really? Not like a programmer? So as a woman, I'm talented, and that means that I should work for the person in charge instead of becoming the person that makes things happen. Thanks, Mrs. Davis. So yes, fork off, haters. Barbie was the torch that generations of girls have been able to light their way with. And that's basically what the narrator says next. That Barbie being anything helped real-world girls become any and everything that they set their minds to. And they take these spoken words and transpose them over little girls mimicking the Barbies that they play with. And this is so true. This is everything. Then we see a shot of dozens of different Barbies, including our first look at a curvy Barbie. And then the movie has to get meta on us, and our narrator tells us that, thanks to Barbie, all problems of feminism and equal rights have been solved. Which was usually a good chuckle from the audience, because obviously that's not true. Also, I disagree with the wording that they use here, because saying, quote, all problems of feminism have been solved makes it sound like feminism is a problem and that Barbie is promoting the old status quo of date cute boys and marry rich. But we get that satirical line, and then it's denoted that the Barbies believe that they've changed the real world and solved equality issues. And here we get our first pink-tastic shot of Barbie Land from above, while the narrator says, "Who am I to burst their bubble?" However, with the narrator now referring to herself in the first person, I kind of want to figure out who she is. Because saying I takes her away from the anonymity of being the voice of everyone or of some writer out there. So she's no longer making matter-of-fact style statements. She is now an individual with some personal investment and opinion here. I'm not sure that we'll ever get enough information though to solve the narrator's real identity. But while we're watching this movie, let's see if anyone comes to mind while we dissect more scenes. I feel like the intro scene ends here and we start getting into the movie plot at this point. So this is where we're going to call it today. And if you had fun geeking out with me and my annoying voice, then pretty please subscribe and come back. The more that people watch and comment, the more motivated I get to keep up with this content. And I am going to try to do one scene a week, but I am also doing Coraline, and right now that's pretty popular. That's my top priority. So we might miss a couple weeks here and there, and I'm just sorry in advance. Life is crazy. But your interactions really help me out, and they cost you nothing. So please dive into comment conversations and have fun with this movie with me. Thanks for watching. I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. And to any of my members here on YouTube, a huge bottom of my heart thank you for all of your help and support. If you would like to become a paid channel member, there is a link in the description below. Thanks again, guys. Love you. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, "Hey, McGann, I want to mail you something." How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.